Hey everybody, welcome back to BobkeTV time. Once again, the race that everybody is waiting for, the Tour de France, is here, everybody. And here is my preview. This is going to be in two parts. First part is the riders to watch for, amongst many others. There's 198 starters and 198 stories. But I'm going to divide the preview into two parts, the characters and then the race course. So for part one, all of the riders that we're going to be focusing on and to follow during the Tour de France, amongst many, many others. Let's start with the sprinters. According to the Tour de France organizers, the ASO, there's 9 sprint stages, but in my way of thinking, that's pretty generous, honestly. If there is seven sprint stages, it will be remarkable. A couple of sprint stages finish with climbs. Stage number 2, a little bit more difficult for the sprinters, I think. You never know. One of the sprinters might be able to contest for the stage win. But later on in the Tour de France, the breakaways generally have a great chance of success. And some of those sprint stages never come down to a sprint. So to be generous, to be magnanimous as the ASO, the tour organizers, I'm going to say there's 7 sprint stages. So if Marcel Kittel wins 4 of them, which he's perfectly capable of doing, that's some pretty slim pickings for everybody else. Let's say Kittel wins 3. Greipel wins 1, Cavendish wins 2. That leaves only one other sprint stage for a lot of guys to contest. So there's your 3 top sprinters. Mark Cavendish, 26 stage wins. Marcel Kittel and Andre Greipel. Kittel 4 stage wins a couple of years ago. Andre Greipel 4 stage wins last year. But what we haven't seen since 2013 is a head-to-head between Mark Cavendish, who crashed out day 1 of 2014, and Marcel Kittel, who did not race in the Tour de France last year. So the sprint stages are going to be so furious and insane when all of those teams of those 3 riders, think about that, are going to head-to-head. It's going to make the breakaways a little bit less likely in the long run. Let's say a situation where Greipel hasn't won any stages or Cavendish hasn't won any stages, and there is a flatter stage later on in the race. Well, I would imagine those teams chase all the breakaways down and give their sprinter a chance to win. So that being said, who is the least likely of our other sprinters to win that one last stage not taken out by Cav, Greipel, or Kittel? Nazer Boigny is a candidate. Alexander Kristoff, Dylan Groenewegen, a new name. Lotto Jumbo, new name on the sprint block. 22 years of age. Very, very fast sprinter. Has got a lot of scouts this year amongst the very best. Brian Coquard of the Direct Energy Squad, which was Europa car last year, is absolutely flying. Got into the double digits of wins already this year. John Degenkolb, Michael Matthews, all names to reckon with. And of course, the current world champion, Peter Sagan, is having a great year. 2 stage wins in the Tour of Switzerland recently. He's on form, and it's just going to be absolutely fantastic to watch the sprinters, watch their teams, and watch all of the mayhem that is to come on the sprint stages. The sprint field has never been stronger. Never. There's never been a stronger sprint squad in the history of the Tour de France. So if it's 9 sprints to the line, those are going to be thrilling stages. If it's 8 or 7, all of them are going to be absolutely spectacular. So you do not want to miss any of the sprint stages. GC, the GC, that's another thing. The GC might never have been stronger in any Tour de France. The GC battle is going to be absolutely insane. It's going to be crazy. The big three, probably Chris Froome, Nairo Quintana, and Alberto Contador. The big three. And a ton of great riders queued up to take a podium spot should any of those three falter. I'm going to give the podium when I'm done introducing the characters, so hold your horses a little bit. You can skip forward when I'm done if you want to. From the BMC squad, Richie Porte, formerly of Sky, formerly a lieutenant of Chris Froome, and TJ Van Garderen from the United States. Richie Porte had a very solid Dauphiné, so he's on good form. TJ had a little bit up and down. Tour de Suisse, his preparation race. Got hunger knock, ran out of watts, got maybe a little bit hypothermic on one stage, and then won a stage in commanding fashion. So if TJ is on the latter part of his form in the Tour of Switzerland, he's going to be flying at the Tour de France. Of course, two Frenchmen, Thibaut Pinot and Romain Bardet. They're two strong GC contenders. Good chance to be in the top 10, most certainly. Top 5, there's 2 time trials, so doesn't favor Romain Bardet, but Thibaut Pinot has been time trialing really well throughout the year. So there's a couple of French names to reckon with. From Italy, Fabio Aru and Vincenzo Nibali, both on the Astana squad. Vincenzo Nibali, hot off a Giro win. Fabian Aru won the Vuelta last year. Aru, not fantastic at the Dauphiné, but did come up with a pretty thrilling stage win. So his form is a real question mark, and it's going to be interesting to see how he races. From the Cannondale squad, Pierre Rolland, proven Frenchman, capable of a top 10 if things go well. Top 5 would be really impressive for Pierre Rolland. Warren Barguil, another Frenchman on the Giant squad, leader of the Tour of Switzerland recently, so he should be on good form. He had a major falling apart during the time trial of the Tour of Switzerland while he was the race leader. So we'll have to see how he's doing. Wilco Kelderman, Dutchman on the Lotto Jumbo squad, also led Tour of Switzerland before falling apart himself. So another question mark, but certainly capable of the top 10. Top 10 twice previously, maybe 3 times from the Trek squad, Bauke Mollema. Definite top 10 contender, maybe even top 5 if he is at his best. Let's talk about the Sky team, teammates of Chris Froome. Should Chris Froome falter? They have Wout Poels, Mikel Landa, and Geraint Thomas. That is a strong team. I mean, it's just phenomenal how good the team is. They will be in the service of Chris Froome, and I think Chris Froome is going to have his hands full throughout the Tour de France. So I don't expect them to have a chance to race for themselves and go for a high standing in the overall. But if something does happen to Chris Froome early on, Sky will not be out of the running by any stretch of the imagination. From Switzerland, Matthias Frank, top 10 last year, could repeat that. Had a pretty rough Tour of Switzerland. Was ill, dropped out, and we'll see if the extra recuperation he needed before the Tour de France is going to help him. And Nairo Quintana's teammate on the Movistar squad, a little bit of a wild card, Alejandro Valverde. His goal of the year was to finish on the podium of the Giro, maybe even win. He achieved that. He was on the podium, and so theoretically, unlike last year, he will dedicate all of his effort and energy to Nairo Quintana's chances, and it'll be interesting. Your last year's 3rd place rider Alejandro Valverde back at the Tour again this year, so far at least, in support of Nairo Quintana. I am going to give you your podium right now. First place, Chris Froome. He's just too strong. His team also is just phenomenal. So even if Quintana and Contador and Froome are at the same level going into the Tour de France, Froome wins because of how strong Team Sky is. They've never been stronger. They've won 3 out of the last 4 tours, and they're just absolutely phenomenal. So many weapons, so many strong riders, that I see Chris Froome riding like he always does, steady, unflappable, in control, and supported by an absolutely phenomenal team. Quintana and Contador, that is too close to call for second and third. Quintana time trialing better than he ever has in the Route du Sud recently, so you might get the better of Alberto Contador for second and third, but time will tell. So there's your podium, and it's going to be a great Tour de France. Please send in your comments. What's your podium out there? Who's in your top 10? Let me know if I've forgotten anybody. It happens. I forgot Peter Sagan. For the Tour of Switzerland sprints, and he won 2 of them. Sorry about that, Peter. I'm counting on you to win that one sprint stage that won't be taken up by Cav, Greipel, and Kittel. But the GC is going to be fantastic. The sprint stages are going to be fantastic. Let me know what you guys think about the most likely rider to win a sprint stage besides the big 3. Okay? That would be interesting. Suggestions, comments, subscriptions, please keep them coming. The thumbs up. I have some suggestion from the UCIs. UCI, you have got to get a handle on these dangerous finishes, and it's not acceptable. The racing is close enough, thrilling enough, fast enough, exciting enough, without having these type of obstacles for the peloton to negotiate. So please step forward, UCI, with your leadership anytime.